Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Prahadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father Yahweh and my Heavenly Big Brother Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops of GMS, Great Millstone, who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world teaching this truth and none but the truth. In the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Bashim Awashah, trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears, you so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Middle Indians, and you speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like, for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up on the economy of America, looking shitty, bad. Hey, it's gonna get worse, and it's all leading to that RFID microchip implant, the mark of the beast. Yep. Anyway, I'm gonna play these videos. I'm gonna get into the scripture my best ability to say whatever God say through spirit and power. Yahweh Bashim Awashah, the Holy Spirit of Krahak Badash, Lord, wanna be on me. Let's get it.
President Trump just said he does not care how much his war with Iran is impacting your wallet.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Here are the facts. According to today's inflation report, as of April of 2026, this war with Iran is hitting your wallet hard and on a lot of fronts. And to add insult to injury, today's report also found that whatever small wage increase you may have seen over the last year just got wiped out. And I think we need to brace ourselves for more of this financial hardship because there's no end in sight to the war. Now, before I share the troubling numbers from today's Consumer Price Index report and share what else President Trump had to say about today's inflation report, which you're going to want to hear, I want to thank my paid Facts HQ subscribers for voting overwhelmingly for this story as the bonus this week. If you want to vote on next week's bonus story and get access to my private live event, which is happening, it is because of my awesome paid Facts HQ subscribers that I am able to continue to bring the news to you every single day. Without them, this page would disappear. Subscriber. 8% over April of last year. 3.8%. That is the fastest increase of inflation that we have seen since May of 2023. For the record, the Federal Reserve wants that number to be 2%. 3.8% is nowhere near 2%. Of course, it is also nowhere near the 9.
Man, it gotta be higher than that shit. I don't know, fucking 3.8.
9.1% peak inflation we saw coming out of the pandemic in June of 2022. But the pandemic wasn't a choice. That inflation spike happened to the whole world. This war with Iran was Trump's choice, but he said today he made that choice for a good reason.
Mr. President, your promise to bring inflation down is now at its highest level in 3 years. Are your policies not working?
No,
What's
my
happening?
policies are working incredibly. If you go back to just before the war, for the last 3 months, inflation was at 1.7%. Now, we had a choice. Let these lunatics have a nuclear weapon. If you want to do that, then you're a stupid person, and you happen to be. I mean, I know you very well. And as soon as this war is over, which will not be long, you're going to see oil prices drop, and you're going to see a stock market, which is already at the highest point in history, go through the roof. You're going to see the golden age of America, frankly, and you're seeing it now.
Just for some clarity, I don't know where in the world the president is getting an inflation number at 1.7%. In the 3 months prior to the beginning of the war with Iran, which was the time frame Trump is talking about, according to Trump's own government, inflation was 2.7% in December of 2025 and 2.4% in both January and February of 2026. None of those numbers are anywhere near 1.7%. Far from it. And whether you think we are seeing the golden age of America is up to you. Now, I'm going to show you the actual numbers of how this war with Iran is impacting inflation according to today's report in a second. But before I do that, I want to put these numbers I'm about to share with you into some context because, as I mentioned, for the first time in 3 years, inflation is now outpacing your wage growth, which is why you probably feel like it's hard to afford just the basics. This data is from the Bureau of...
Alright, I don't want to see no charts, and I damn sure don't want to hear no more numbers. Let's get to the next video. I heard enough.
I'm Will Wooten.
Motherfucker, I want to see your ass.
Right, we are joined by Dave Hodges, independent journalist, former award-winning psychology professor, and the host of the Common Sense Show. Dave, you say that if the war in Iran doesn't end by Memorial Day, then we're going to see the decline of the U.S. at the 4th of July.
These are approximation figures, but people got to realize oil tankers...
Hey, I'm going to say the decline of the U.S. has been happening. It ain't like all of a sudden going to just happen in July if the war doesn't end over in Iran. Shit, it's been happening since shit 9/11. This bitch been going downhill spiral financially and everything else. But now you can really COVID definitely, when COVID came around, it definitely went downhill decline.
Move at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So they can take 3 months in transit, and if they have any stops, it can even be longer. We're living right now on borrowed oil. And here's something that doesn't get explained in the mainstream media properly. People say, oh, we're oil independent. Well, it's true. We have more oil than we can consume on a daily basis. But a lot of that oil is heavy crude, and a lot of our refineries aren't set to handle that. So we import better quality oil from the Middle East that we use domestically. We export a lot of the heavy crude. But if that oil is not coming to us through the Strait of Hormuz, which is 95% closed and has been since February 28th, then we have to rely on our oil reserves or the tankers that are in transit right now from the time of delivery prior to the war starting to now. And we're reaching that point over the next 7 to 10 days. We're reaching the point where we're living on totally borrowed oil. And the government's not going to let its strategic oil reserves become seriously depleted, because what if China gets aggressive with Taiwan? The military will need that oil. And I think we're looking at the very strong possibility that if we don't resolve this by the end of this month, by the end of June, July 4th, in that time frame, we might start to see roving blackouts. We're going to see shortages. And if diesel goes above $6.50, I've had truckers tell me this by the dozens, that their drop dead price is $6.50. What happens to the just-in-time deliveries for medicine and food to the retail outlets if they're not delivering? I mean, we're reaching a real crisis point, and it won't come progressively, Kim. There'll be a point, and this is what economists have explained to me, there'll come a point when all these factors come together, and you might go to bed on Friday and wake up to a different world on Monday.
I just wonder how we're going to get out of this. You know, it's like, I hear you. I understand there's some serious implications here for the economy. Obviously, I think Trump knows this as well. But getting out of this seems really, really challenging, because Iran really does seem to have the upper hand, and they're using it, right? They're not really giving Trump an out, and Trump needs to save face somehow. I mean, there cannot be, he's not really able to end this war without saving face, and it doesn't seem like Iran is going to let him at this point. I mean, they might, but they would have to have a motivation to do that. And I think in their mind, they would think, well, if we allow him to save face somehow, like they've done in the past, then this will just keep happening again and again. And so I think they're probably having a big struggle and conversations and debates inside of their own hierarchy there in Iran. That's like, are we going to let this happen to us again or not? And I think the answer for most of them is no, we're never going to let this happen to us again.
I would respond this way. A very astute reporter off camera, so we don't know who it was, asked President Trump, and this is played all over, are you going to enlist the help of President Xi in ending the war in Iran? He goes, well, we don't need China for that. We're not going to do that. We've got it under control. We don't have it under control. And I can tell you, Kim.
Wait a minute. What's this nigga say?
We don't need China for that. We're not going to do that. We've got it, President Trump, and this is played all over. Are you going to enlist the help of President Xi in ending the war in Iran? He goes, well, we don't need China for that. We're not going to do that. We've got it under control. We don't have it under control. And I can tell you, Kim, I am convinced, and it's my strong belief based on what I know, that their number one topic right now is stopping the war in Iran. And I'm sure Trump's...
Really? That's their concern? Man, get the fuck out of here.
The Trump card, no pun intended here, he's telling Xi, we can shut the whole thing down. If you don't help us get Iran to stop this, and you're their major ally,
hell, y'all, America was the one who started it.
We can shut the whole thing down. And I think that's the major point of discussion behind closed doors. And obviously the second point of discussion will be, what kind of trade and barter are we going to do for Taiwan? I don't think we...
this nigga here is delusional, man. I don't know if I'm hearing him right, but anyway.
Would see a direct giveaway of Taiwan, and we tell China, go ahead and invade, but we could do things like cut back on offensive weapons to Taiwan and make them more vulnerable that way over a period of time. And I think that's probably the second focus of their discussion. And then third, what we're hearing about in the media is probably accurate too. What are they going to charge for tariffs? What are our trade agreements going to be? Is China going to buy all these soybeans? But the major deal right now, I guarantee behind closed doors, is what's going to happen with this war. And Xi and Trump...
What can China even do?
Well, I think China can tell Iran at some point, back down, or we're going to join the U.S. Huh? And I think that would make Iran capitulate. I think that's the only thing that's going to make them capitulate.
But what would motivate China?
Nigga, that ain't going to happen. What the fuck are you talking about?
Nah. I mean, China would have to have a real reason to want to do that. And what do you think would be a good enough, I guess, carrot to get China to even want to side with the U.S. on this? I mean, because right now this is benefiting China. The U.S. is in...
And nobody really... I mean, China, hey, they getting their ships through the port, or the what you call it, what you call that shit? The straits. Unless America starts blocking them from a safe far distance, so they can get shot up, or they get their ships blown up by Iran.
Tangled in a war, so the U.S. cannot do anything about Taiwan, I mean, that now we are occupied doing some other things. This also benefits Russia in that way as well, right? The U.S. is tied up in its own engagement, its own war. Secondly, this is collapsing the U.S. economy, which only benefits also the Chinese economy. So they're able to rise faster, which they're already going to rise. They're already going to overtake us as the world's biggest economy. But this helps accelerate that. It helps accelerate the collapse of the dollar. I mean, I don't see a motivation for China to say, because, and right now,
Why would China want to help America stop why?
with the reporting, we don't know. But with the reporting, it just seems like China.
And China, hey man, Trump is over there. China kissing them, was kissing them butt cheeks, kissing them Chinese cheeks. Yeah, they're Chinaman butt cheeks. And this sounds so fucking pathetic. How old is this video? It's 22 hours ago. I guess I don't know when. Anyway,
Just said, sure, yeah, good luck. We wish you the best. That's what it kind of sounds like they're saying.
I'm certain, and there's some reports that support this, that China is suffering a degradation too with oil. And it started with Venezuela and losing access to most of the Venezuelan oil that they used to get. They get a small percentage of it now.
Oh, I'm not hear shit no more. This nigga all about America. He believes in Trump. Nah, fuck I am. This nigga about to fuck this place up.
Spring.
Let's see what his next video about. I knew there was something fun. I mean, sometimes when you playing Dave Hodge video, I don't mind playing, but then sometimes this nigga talking about some retarded shit. Some shit that ain't gonna never happen.
Stop and savor the strawberries. That's Daz.
Families are flooding back to food pantries.
I didn't notice the video ends at 1 minute 44 seconds. All praise Yahweh Shemel Shah, the Wadi Yahweh Shemel Shah.
Across the country. In Baldwin Park, California, dozens of cars lined up Wednesday for a food drive co-hosted by the LA Regional Food Bank. In Pittsburgh, a pantry AJ Owen started out of his front yard last fall has expanded into a program that will stay open through the summer.
We're going to do this until we can feed all the kids this summer. Nobody's going hungry this summer in Pittsburgh.
Americans in neighborhoods large and small are pitching in. Prices are rising faster than paychecks now for the first time in 3 years. Wissam Youssef, a father of 5, first turned to a food pantry in Carrollton, Texas when his wife was out of work a year ago.
I always pick up the healthy food. Like example for this, the lentil here.
But he's had to keep coming.
So, to feed your family,
yes.
Are you relying on a place like
that? He just said, when he said, the narrator said that the prices of the food is outpacing the wages. Yeah. Hagar chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have so much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is no warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. Yep, you ain't got enough money. You did all this hard work and you ain't earned enough money for food, water, shelter, clothing, and not to save. Yep. I'm glad it's raining now. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna last long.
This now?
I could say 65%, yes.
65% of what you need is coming from a place like this?
Because at the end of the month, we're kind of like now living check by check, you know what I mean?
Are you making difficult decisions right now at home on where you spend your money?
Of course, I have to look for the cheapest place now. Like sometimes I never used to go to Dollar Tree. Now I go to Dollar Tree.
This section used to have all of our canned meat.
Casey McMahon showed us the empty shelves that usually hold canned chicken or tuna, protein sources that are in high demand. The average family that used to need help for 8 to 12 weeks, he says, now needs it for closer to 7 or 8 months.
So you notice people relying on you not just for a month at a time to get through, but a longer period of time.
Yeah, I think when folks think of food pantries, they think of an immediate crisis that brings someone to the doors. What we're seeing is a long-term crisis. Things are just not adding up at the end of the month.
I introduce everyone to Matt Schultz. He's with Lending Tree, the chief consumer finance analyst. I think I read an article last week talking a little bit about how Arizona is now one of the most expensive places to live. So let's talk about this household debt. Where are we?
We're at record levels, and we're likely only going to keep climbing. Latest quarterly report from the...
And don't just think, see, they just talking about Arizona, but look at every other state. They speaking of the same thing too. Having the same issue too. Every state in the United States.
York Federal Reserve showed that Americans have a grand total of about $1.8 trillion in overall household debt when you factor in everything from mortgages to credit card debts to student loans, auto loans, and on down the line. So that's an awful lot of money. It's almost a hard number to wrap your brain around, but it's what Americans are facing in terms of debt.
Let's talk about this too, because there was a recent study that came out that showed that here in Arizona, it now costs $294,982 to raise a child here in Arizona. That number, my jaw dropped. That is a massive amount of money for one child in our state.
Yeah, and the thing is that in that report that we did, it's basically a bare bones number. That doesn't include things like emergency savings or vacations or college savings or anything like that. With that, we're talking about things like an extra bedroom for needing for an apartment or clothing and basic stuff like that. So the real problem there, or one of the biggest problems there, especially in Arizona, but in a lot of places, is that there's just not enough child care facilities around. It's not necessarily an issue in big cities like Phoenix and that sort of thing, but when you get further out into Arizona, into smaller areas, they are literal child care deserts where there's just not enough supply out there in terms of child care services, so they can end up charging a huge amount of money, and that's a big part of what that cost is.
Inflation rates have reached the highest they have since, I think, 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So according to data indexers, 1.4% for the past month, the highest 0.5 increase. That is not good news. It's not going to help. I mean, a lot of people are getting what they have, that 2% cost of living increase. That's not going to cover it.
Yeah, and the difficult thing is that it's not just any one particular thing that's driving stuff. Definitely everybody has recognized that gas prices have gone through the roof, and that's a big part of what's contributing to that number. But it's no secret that groceries and plenty of other things are still really expensive too. And unfortunately, I think the best thing for people to do is to adjust their budget and assume that things are going to continue to get more expensive. So kind of taking the preparing for the worst and hoping for the best route.
Matt, that was going to be my next question. I was going to say, do we think any of this is going to come down? I mean, obviously, gas prices right now are kind of higher because of this conflict in the Middle East, and hopefully after this is restored, whenever that is going to be, maybe we'll start to see those gas prices come down.
Oh, hell no. It ain't going to happen. It's going to keep going rising up. It's that time. I feel it. I feel it in my spirit, and they rolling out a chip implant. So, hey, man, in order to get the people microchip, they got to keep them prices up and keep going up and up and up and up until people gonna say fuck it and rage and protest, uproars of the people. But hey, all this is leading to that chip implant. Let's get to the next video.
Trump seems determined to make sure the Republicans lose every vote in the midterm election. I don't know if you've seen this, Kurt, but so he was asked about Iran and regarding the Iran war. Trump says Americans' financial situations don't matter to him, not even one bit.
So a tiny bit.
When the GOP gets annihilated in November, don't you dare blame Tucker or Megyn or Candace or Fuentes or Massey. Just watch this over and over. Let's watch this together. Let's watch it.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that matters.
And the ballroom. Two things. I think about two things. The terrific ballroom and Iran cannot have a nuke.
And if my son Barron can manipulate the markets when I say when the war is on and off again and make $135 million in one day.
Did he? Good for him.
Pretty sure
that's
a
giant on every level, financially, physically. Why can't Iran have a nuke?
So why can't Iran have a nuke? What will happen? Why can Israel have a nuke? Why can Pakistan have a nuke? Why can North Korea have a nuke?
Why they couldn't? They said they couldn't have a nuke, but then they got one.
But then they got
never
one.
Brought it up ever again. Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
So you can't overthrow them now. That's why.
That's right, because now we can't overthrow them because they have a nuke. So China has a nuke. Russia has a nuke. We have nukes. Israel has 200 nukes. Pakistan has nukes. North Korea, the person is supposed to be a madman, has nukes. But
no, I
but
just
for
realized.
but for some reason, Iran can't have a nuke. Really?
Because Iran's really close to Israel, Jimmy. And guess what? So Israel has that great Samson option, which they should have, where they will fire all their nukes into all their surrounding countries if they're ever losing. If they're ever losing the land they stole. So if Iran had a nuke, they could nuke Israel before they did the Samson option, couldn't they? It would render a lot of things that we got plans for incomplete, I would say.
So, Donald Trump, not even like, it's like he should be on your podcast. Can you hear yourself?
Oh, he can.
Not even a little bit. I don't care about the financial woes of American citizens. That is.
It's because of how important this Iran thing is.
Oh, it's
to
so
America.
important that nobody in America gives a crap about.
I actively want Iran to develop nuclear weapons.
I do too.
They don't need them, by the way.
If
They can
Iran
end the whole
had
thing.
I do too. I would love them to happen. I believe they actually do.
Because if Iran had a nuclear weapon, the Strait of Hormuz would have been open. It would have never been closed. They would have never attacked them, and we would never have this war. That is on the verge of becoming a world war. It would have never happened.
But it can't be that way because it's Bible prophecy. It's the Lord's will, and He set it up this way. So we got to, hey man, we got to root for more. When I mean root, like cheer on for more of getting closer to the destruction of this wicked world and all the prophecies happening.
A nuke means a country you can't just take.
All right, I'll let it keep playing because they keep talking about nukes too much. I mean, which is all right, but I'm trying to stick to the financials part of it. But I think they going in. They got something typed up. Let me let this video keep playing.
Go over how you want.
That's
You're going
right.
to have to do it subtly now, how they did to America.
This is the same guy who spent years promising lower prices, protecting working families, and America first. Now he's dragging us into another costly war and openly admits he doesn't even care what it's doing to your wallet.
They tried to fight her buying gas, which is, I think,
That's that crude Lord for you.
$5 a gallon where I live now.
It's $7 a gallon here in California.
Ooh, you guys are ahead.
I don't know how people can afford anything here when gas is $7 a gallon. I don't understand it.
Oh, well, when
And
that
they say,
UBI comes in.
and then they try to say, Kurt, oh no, it's great because the United States we're selling more oil than ever. Yeah, that's not great for Americans. That's great for Exxon and Shell. That's not great for America. That money doesn't go in our pockets. In fact, it's going the other way. It goes out of our pockets because the prices are so high.
Don't you blame Fuentes for this.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Dating
He said
girls
there's
is,
no way Charlie Kirk, the Fed story is true about Charlie Kirk. That's what he says.
dating girls is gay.
Well, that's true.
That's true.
Okay, he's got me there.
I don't think I've ever, Sean McHugh says, I don't think I've ever heard an American president say he doesn't care about Americans' financial situation. That's a
Right.
new one.
That's why you got to vote Democrat, because they'll say they care and then also do the same.
Yeah, man, we get tired of shit. That's why you need to vote Democrat. Now, that's why you don't need to be voting at all, man. And seek the Lord, because they all damn devils. Hell, ain't y'all forgot about what Democrat, what was it, Biden? That nigga didn't give a fuck about the economy. Their job is to fuck it up so they can lead you people to them damn chipping stations to get them microchip implants.
And then also,
Or just lead your ass to them chip implants, period. Either it's at the station or you're going to get a chip somewhere.
crush your union strike.
Yeah.
You're going to get a damn do-it-yourself kit. Shit, they still want a chip inside your ass.
So, the man who ran on America First just admitted he doesn't think about how Americans are doing financially. Oh, Cenk Uygur makes an appearance on the show. Whoa! My old buddy.
Don't you blame Cenk.
My old boss, my old buddy, Cenk Uygur. Don't you blame Cenk.
Justice is coming for Cenk.
Justice is coming. Justice is a horse. Anyway, no. I don't have any animosity towards Cenk Uygur. It's all he appears in my dreams.
Really?
And whenever my haters appear in my dreams,
Wake up when you come?
Wake up when I come, and it reminds me. It reminds me that we're all just playing parts. This is one lifetime, and we're all playing parts, and it doesn't matter. We're like actors in a play. And I just have feelings of gratitude when I wake up because he did help me out a lot. He gave me a paycheck and let me learn how to do this on the fly at his job. There's no training to do this job. There's no you don't go somewhere to train to do this. You have to. Someone opens a door for you, and then you show up and you do it. And if you don't do it, they close the door.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is have someone open the door for you. Anyway, the point is he did that.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. This is going on some other shit. I don't even know what the. Salaki, I got gas. Them damn corn chips and salsa been eating. Yeah, but anyway, let's get to the next video. Goodness gracious.
So today, the U.S. economy took a massive hit. I'm going to explain why, but I'm also going to explain at the end of this video what you should be doing to prepare for what is coming. Look at this. It says the inflation rate projected to hit 6% in the second quarter. This is according to top economic forecasters. 6%. We're sitting at 3.8% now. That means they're anticipating 2.2 percentage point jump. That's a massive increase. That is going to hurt millions of people that do not have this. If you don't have money or if you have debt, this is going to be a painful year for millions of people. Again, I'm going to explain what you should be doing about this in just a moment. But that's not the only concern. Look at this one right here. It says the 30-year Treasury yield just broke to its highest level in almost 20 years. You know the last time it reached this level? I'm going to read it to you. You're going to know the date because it's scary. It says, the 30-year Treasury yield rose 12 basis points to reach 5.13%, its highest closing level since June 2007. Remember 2007 when everything was starting to crumble? Where we saw real estate take a massive hit? Banks were on the verge of closing? We just didn't know it yet. That's where 2008, 2009 came in. Again, if you don't have this and you have a lot of debt, it's going to be a problem. I want to read a few things to you, though. Look what's happening right now. These are just some of the writing that are on the wall. LinkedIn is planning to lay off 5% of staff in its latest tech sector cut. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens there. It says the tech job market is a bloodbath, and it's likely going to get even worse. It says this 2026 surge almost rivals the first significant wave of layoffs in 2023. Yeah, but we aren't there yet. It says Walmart announces major layoffs in effort to simplify operations. So in other words, they're going to start to use AI, and they're going to ask their employees to take on additional roles and responsibilities. And then obviously, we got gas prices today. They're $4.52. That's the national average according to AAA. Okay, here's the problem. Most people don't see it yet. But when the bond market spikes like it did, okay? Again, I'm going to show this to you one more time. You can see it right here, okay? I'll show you just the Treasury. This is the 30-year, okay, right here. Let me just show you this. Okay, here we are. Actually, we'll go back to just 1 year. You see how it's starting to go up? Okay, you see that? This is the 30-year right here. It's the blue. You see how it's going up? Okay, I'm going to go back. Let me just go to all. Okay, so if you go all the way back to 2007 right here, okay, you see how we're very close to that. That's a concern. Okay, we do not want to be that high. Now, why does this matter? Well, here's the reason why. When the bond market, or when we have higher yields, that means borrowing costs are going up. Mortgages, car loans, business loans, anything. Everything gets more expensive. But not only that, businesses are going to stop hiring, or in the case like we've seen over the past year, people are going to lose their jobs because AI is going to be, well, forced into that industry. We're seeing it. It's happening. You need to prepare. Not only that, people that have that don't have a fixed rate mortgage, they are going to be in a world of hurt because they will not be able to afford their mortgage when it's come time. Okay? Also, people that are buying cars, that are needing to upgrade, they are going to have a difficult time because cars are getting more expensive. They're getting more expensive to fix, more expensive for gas, more expensive for maintenance.
It's gonna be too hard to drive them type of car, these new cars, cause hell, they got all this surveillance shit. They got to check your eyes and make sure you all that dumb shit. That's another thing. Anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't like to be quiet sometimes. Sometimes it's best to be quiet. Anyway,
it is going to be an issue, especially if you have to go and buy a new car. Here's my advice to you.
I wouldn't want to buy a new car. Like saying, going back to that, what I was just saying, I wouldn't want to buy a new car. Shit coming to an end anyway.
Okay? You need this. This is what you need. Everybody needs this. They need money to be able to afford food, to be able to pay for a car or a mortgage or their rent. They need it just to survive, pay for utilities, right? Water. That's what they need. Health insurance. You need money. Now, why am I bringing this to your attention today? Well, because everybody's concerned that the stock market is just propped up. Everything's going up. Well, until today, where things kind of reversed. People are concerned that we are headed for a correction, where prices of everything from stocks to
correction, and head into a fucking, well, it's depression, and it's collapsing.
Real estate to
we already there, but it's going to get worse.
Cars, business valuations, they're going to come crashing down. Here's my advice to you. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. You need more of this.
You need more of you need to build up more of a relationship, spiritually, mentally, with Yahweh Shema Shah. Try to figure out how to say it, and I said it. But that's exactly what you need. You don't need no fucking money. The real money is faith in Yahweh Shema Shah. Yeah. Wisdom and knowledge. Shoot. And I'm like, yeah. Cause it's about to get crazy. That shit won't mean a damn thing. That fucking green, them worthless ducats, they ain't gonna be worth a damn thing. Only thing they worth for is burning in the fire pit to turn, or fireplace or whatever, to use as fire tender or fire starter, or to use to wipe your butt off with. Use the greenback to wipe the brown off your backside after taking a number 2. That's the only thing it's good for. Or turn into paper planes or something. I don't know.
More money to go and pay off some of your debts. You need more money to be able to just put it away for a rainy day. Put your money away until businesses start closing. Until people are trying to sell their cars for dirt cheap just so that they can get out of a payment. Just so that they can have some money to pay their rent or their mortgage because they may have just lost their job. Now, I'm bringing this to your attention because this is what I recommended back in 20...
Alright, let's get to the next one. See, that goes back to Hagar chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Hell, these people ain't got enough of that. They ain't working so hard, but they ain't got enough of that. And then plus, when they earn some money, it ain't enough for food, water, shelter, clothing, and not to save. So the shit, it ain't gonna be. And that, anyway, it's best to get this truth right now. This is the real money. Yeah, your real riches is over here with Yahweh Shema Shah, building up your faith and trust. Yep. I mean, nothing wrong with earning money, because you're using that money as a defense. Like he said, he ain't saying that, but that money, that's not even money anyway. It's just paper. It ain't backed up by anything, but it's only good for defense. That's all it is. And now they about to crash that shit. Get rid of it. And then go digital. Anyway, let me get to this video.
We have a problem. Inflation has now risen to 3.8, and this has been reported by all media outlets. Fox News is reporting it. Breaking, inflation jumps to 3.8. It's the highest increase since 2023.
That's some bullshit, man. Get the fuck out of here. This shit is higher than that. I don't know what the fuck. What is 3.8? What is 3.8? Nigga, it's like 40, 50%, nigga. Things are double the price. How the hell? Well, yeah, there's certain things that are double the price, like a battery, a car battery. Used to get a car battery for 40 bucks at Walmart. Maybe 30 or 40 bucks 5 years ago. That motherfucker jumped up. Every year it goes up $10. $10. Now shit is like 100 bucks for a 1 year battery. Maybe, or $70, I believe, for a 1 year battery. Hell, it's 100 bucks, you get a 2 year battery. That's a bunch of bullshit. But anyway.
CNN is reporting it. For the first time in 3 years, American wages are no longer outpacing inflation.
How the hell that's 3.8? I don't know, but whatever.
Inflation rose to 3.8%. We got a problem. We got a problem.
No shit.
There were many of us that complained about the economy under Biden, and the economy is even worse now under Trump.
Yeah, and that's their job, to make it worse. Each presidency, it doesn't matter who's running this shit. All that matters is they do as much damage as possible. So then, later on down the road, then they'll implement that chip implant in the mark of the beast. And this is how they're going to get people lined up to them chipping stations, getting them microchips by making everything more expensive and hard to get. And making their lives harder and a living hell, yeah. And they'll promise you or advertise to you that getting that chip implant is going to make things better, yay. But it's going to make things worse, especially when that destruction comes, that nuclear destruction, when the Lord kills your ass if you get that damn chip.
And I'm going to tell you, we're not at the point for a revolution yet, but we're getting closer.
Oh, shit. You niggas going to be sitting on your ass. I'm talking about some revolution. Yeah, they probably will be. I mean, once they get that food, they start touching that food, then these folks going to act like a fool. Then again, I don't know. We're going to have to see, man. Because I don't know what's going to get these fat-ass, dumb-ass Americans to move. Get off their ass and start beating their chests like gorillas and be like, oh, I'm mad, man. Let's get our guns and start blowing motherfucking heads off. I don't know, but I hope it comes soon. It is coming, though. Sedition among men and invading one another. That will be going down, but just don't know when and how it's going to start off. Only how about Shemal Shah know.
I think when this country truly hits rock bottom, I think that's when people will activate and things might pop off. You know what I'm saying? Because
Egyptians versus Egyptians.
I understand we went through a pandemic. I get that. But that's not why we're in this situation right now. A lot of this has to do with the Strait of Hormuz and the oil prices.
No, it ain't. It has something to do with that chip implant. What the fuck you talking about? The Strait of Hormuz is like, it's whatever. Anyway.
And Donald Trump apparently doesn't give a damn. He is questioned about it. I have 2 clips here.
Got another one.
A reporter is asking him, "You promised to bring inflation down. Are your policies not working?" So listen to what he says here.
You expect this devil to be the devil because he is the fucking devil. And of course he ain't gonna care. He's a devil.
You promised to bring inflation down. It's now at its highest level in 3 years.
I mean, this nigga ain't gonna bring. I mean, all these years, or not years, since it was his second term now. For a whole year, you know this nigga wasn't gonna do shit. When he first started, the first 2 months, this nigga was doing. He was a wrecking ball. He was a force not to be fucked with. He was just fucking up shit. You know, like I say, he was a human wrecking ball, just tearing up the American economy. Woo-wee. And shit, you think he gonna fix things? No, he's gonna make it worse and keep wrecking things.
Are your policies not working? What's happening?
No, his policy is to fuck you Americans up and throw a middle finger to your ass. That's his policy. To make sure y'all suffering when that chip implant comes out. That's his policy. That's his job.
Working incredibly.
People just falling for all the gaslighting this nigga just pumping y'all with, all the bullshit.
If you go back,
I love it. These people falling for it.
Just before the war, for the last 3 months, inflation was at 1.7%.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a lie.
Now, we had a choice. Let these lunatics have a nuclear weapon. If you want to do that, then you're.
Let me skip this nigga.
Don't matter. Don't matter. When the GOP gets annihilated in November, don't you dare blame Tucker or Megan or Candace or Fuentes or Massey. Just watch this over and over.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran,
basically, he doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck. Here we go again.
Yeah, and when are you fucking Americans gonna get it? It's like this every year, and it just gets worse and worse, and you dumbasses keep falling for it. And he's the worst of them all, and some of them still believe this nigga is the real. He's gonna bring America back. How? He's already fucking it up more. That's why you Israelites need to seek the Lord right now. Stop putting your trust in these fucking damn devils. These stupid motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. And ultimately, this is the Lord's punishment. He's bringing pain to you niggas. Oh yeah. I pray the Lord have mercy on me. You better do the same for yourself. But yeah, man, how about Shemal Shah bringing the pain to you people?
See this? Remember the stories I showed you
using these damn devils to do it.
About how people in the Trump administration are using this opportunity to enrich themselves? Whether it's Jared Kushner, whether it's RFK Jr., etc. Remember I told you about that? They don't care about what is happening to us. And Donald Trump ran on that, didn't he? Didn't he run on, we were going to get it back to where it was? We're going to fix the economy. He said Biden messed it up. I'm going to fix it and get it back. Now he's telling you he don't care. So here's the problem, because something's about to happen. Donald Trump is about to meet with President Xi Jinping in China, in Beijing. And guess who is supposed to be coming along the way? The White House is inviting Elon Musk and Tim Cook to join President Trump on his trip to China this week. Executives from Boeing, Goldman Sachs, Blackstone, BlackRock, Citigroup, and Meta have also been invited. Trump hopes to unlock a series of business deals with China. Wait till I show you one of the deals. First of all, anything that brings along these three, Boeing, Goldman Sachs, Blackstock, and BlackRock, not going to be good. This is also not good. Laura Ingraham tweeted this out. I guess she was shocked by this. Mr. Trump and Xi Jinping are reportedly considering a deal to allow China to invest $1 trillion in the U.S., largely to build factories on American soil.
Wait a minute. Whatever happened to the bringing jobs from other countries like Germany, Volkswagen? Oh, bringing Apple manufacturing plant over here, or who else? Or Samsung bringing a manufacturing plant over here to America. What happened to that shit? Man, that never happened. That never, hell, they reneged on that shit, that offer, or that plan. Shit, what was it? Back last year they reneged on that shit. That shit isn't gonna last long. I knew that shit wasn't gonna last long. Yeah, man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Now it's China. China investing money to build factories here. Oh man, to get you people. Yeah, y'all gonna be like Chinese workers, boy. They gonna be working y'all like them Chinese folk or Moabites, bro. Heck yeah. They gonna put them suicide nets on the outside of the daggone building. Make sure y'all ass don't kill yourselves. Shit, hell yeah. They gonna be, hey, goddamn forced labor, in the forced labor camps when this new world order kick off here in America and all over the world. But here in America, yeah, it's gonna be like China, especially with all the social credit systems and all the surveillance and AI telling you what to do, policing your muck ass, and you got the chip inside your ass. And shit, that's even worse. You got the chip inside you, because now there's no repentance for your ass. You just gonna be destroyed. What the fuck? There's a damn spider in the house. I gotta get it out.
Eric, let's go ahead and bring up part 2 so we can get to that article, because I want to explain something here, guys. Okay. The President of the United States, who at the time when he was running for office, told you that his focus was on building up things for America, for Americans, and America first, really is considering to allow China to build factories here in the United States that China owns. Now, the way he's going to try to sell this to you is say, oh, this is going to be great. Manufacturing's going to boom. And this is going to create so many jobs. But experts are warning against this. Trump on the verge of era of the world historic proportions. He is moving against his aide's advice. So let's see what his aide is saying here. In a column for the New York Times, conservative economist Orrin Cass reported the...
All right, anyway, well, that nigga ain't gonna keep no promises. Y'all people thinking, these people thinking, Edomites should know themselves and know damn well they don't keep promises. They always lie. Damn. These low-level devils don't know themselves. You Israelites should know them for sure. And hell, the prophets are set up telling you that through the scripture and through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. Joel, no, is it Joel? No, it ain't Joel, it's Job. Job chapter 13, verse 4. But ye are physicians, no, ye are forgers of lies, ye are physicians of no value. That's all they do is make lies. They just build up a lie and hope it sticks on the wall like shit. Am I saying that right? Like you throw a glob of shit on the wall and hope it stick? Yeah, well, Trump lies ain't sticking. Well, some people are believing this shit, so it sticks a little bit. But whatever, anyway. Let's get to the next video.
30-year teacher, coach, and principal, Dr. Bubba Longrear for Georgia School Superintendent.
Ladies and gentlemen, Twice Yearly Prep is here. One office visit every 6 months, 2 times a year for 8.
Shifting gears right now to a story that actually might be impacting you. You know, summer's around the corner, you might be getting ready to grill out, but if you visited the meat counter recently, you might be feeling that sticker shock. Take a look at this X post there on your screen coming from Maya Ward saying new as ground beef nears $7 a pound. The White House must decide how to proceed with an EO that was shelved earlier this week. Officials...
Vitrals ain't so good and cheap now. Well, yeah, you can still afford it. Your wage is like $20 a pound, $30 a pound for shit. That shit. And these devils here don't want you to. They want to make the beef so expensive that you can't eat it. You can't buy it. And then they want to hit your ass with a tick that got some kind of disease that's keeping you from eating beef or poultry or whatever kind of meat. Yep. They're basically starving you people out.
Have discussed making changes to water down the initial version and limit impacts on ranchers. Those beef prices have surged a staggering 21%, leaving everyday consumers like you and me frustrated, and Washington scrambling for a fix ahead of the midterms. But the forces driving this crisis, of course, go far beyond inflation, spanning from severe weather, industry consolidation, to maybe high-stakes trade battles and a contentious fight over the Farm Bill. Joining us to break down the complex collision between your grocery bill and Capitol Hill is Politico's food and agriculture reporter, Grace Yarrow. Grace, thanks so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's start with the root of the problem. While trade policies and executive orders are making those headlines, the underlying agricultural realities driving this price hike are incredibly complex. So for the average consumer who's looking at their grocery bill, how much of this surge is driven by maybe long-term structural issues like multi-year droughts or cattle herd liquidation, maybe versus that short-term market or supply chain bottlenecks?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, there's a lot to unpack here. So when I talk to ranchers, a lot of them talk about the fact that this is a really, really deep-rooted issue and not so simple to solve as much as the president or those in charge who are hoping to bring those costs down would love to. It's just there's a lot to unpack. So I would say, first of all, as you mentioned, there are a lot of weather concerns that have impacted ranchers and cattle producers in recent decades. A lot of that has to do with drought. Water shortages really hurt the ability to make a profit from raising cattle. Another thing I would mention is just over time, looking at the data, we're in a decades high, I think it's a 75-year high, or record low, really, cattle herd size. So in terms of supply, there's just a lower herd size. That being said, like the beef industry folks I talk to try to emphasize that there's not necessarily a shortage of beef, but because everybody is buying so much beef, there is a real focus on protein right now. We saw in the most recent dietary guidelines, the Trump administration is focusing on promoting folks eating more protein from real sources like beef. And consumers will continue to pay for that. At a certain point, they might stop as we're continuing to see this price go up. But as of right now, the data shows that people are willing to pay more for beef.
You've reported pretty extensively on the White House's internal debates regarding the plan to suspend tariffs on those beef imports to lower consumer costs. Can you maybe walk us through the political calculus here? How is the administration balancing that urgent demand to provide voters with economic relief ahead of the midterms against that pushback from GOP allies in the domestic cattle industry?
Yeah, I mean, as we've written about this, it's sort of putting the administration in a lose-lose situation. So last week, there were reports, and we heard from the White House and folks close to the plans that the president was expected to sign an executive order that would lower some tariffs on and allow more beef imports to come in. And after that, later that evening, the White House told us that they were still finalizing the executive order and has effectively delayed it. People that we're talking to are expecting that still to come, but they're expecting that the White House has been working to tweak the plan to sort of cushion the blow to ranchers. Last Monday, when those reports first came out, people were pretty angry. I heard from a lot of ranchers who, just on paper, don't like the idea of, a lot of them really support President Trump. He's had really strong allies in the cattle industry. They've been making a profit, and they're kind of a bright spot in the agriculture.
Well, yo, guess what? This shit gonna get worse, especially, when I brought up about them ticks. They got ticks now. They're just gonna latch on people. They latch on these animals, and they get these animals sick, or they're gonna be infected with some kind of disease that's gonna taint the meat that people eat, and then it's gonna cause more problems. But anyway, let's get to the next video. Yeah, it's gonna be a famine of bread, and you can't afford it.
And America's beer market is showing fresh signs of consumer stress. Nielsen data shows beer-flavored malt beverages and cider volumes fell 6.3% year-on-year, though the week ending May 2nd, a much steeper decline compared to last quarter. The slowdown is particularly sharp in convenience stores where sales are closely tied to commuting and impulse spending. Volumes at chains linked to gas station traffic are down nearly 9% over the past 2 weeks. Analysts say rising fuel prices are beginning to pressure discretionary spending, with average U.S. gasoline prices now at about $4.5 per gallon. And the concern on the Wall Street is that weakening beer sales may reflect broader cracks in the American consumer economy. The pressure appears strongest in states with the highest fuel costs. And according to data, U.S. gasoline prices have surged roughly 52% since the start of the Iran war. California has emerged as one of the weakest beer markets in the country, and beer volumes in the state slowed by 16% between early April and early May, while gasoline prices climb above $6 per gallon. Arizona and Texas also posted notable declines, with beer sales falling 10% and nearly 7% respectively. Analysts at Bernstein say that the data now shows a visible negative correlation between higher gas prices and beer consumption trends. The weakness is now spreading beyond beer. Bernstein analysts say softer demand is also beginning to appear across other beverage categories, pointing to a broader cyclical pressure on U.S. consumers. Now, the slowdown comes as American consumer sentiment has dropped to a fresh record low in May. And in the latest University of Michigan survey, 1/3 of respondents identified gasoline prices as their biggest financial concern.
Oh my God, look at these prices.
What's crazy right now is that grocery prices keep going up. They're getting more and more expensive by the day. We are seeing some grocery stores are changing their prices every night and increasing prices because, yes, they may be getting charged a little bit more, but now they're pushing it off to their consumer. And this is impacting millions of Americans. Look at this.
$3.99 for a little small tub of cream cheese. That's the deal. That's the lowest price. You want a watermelon? It's only $8. Check out the bacon. Okay, so the lowest price was $5.99 and it went up to $12.99 for a pound of bacon. French fries, $5.99, $3.
It's crazy what you are being charged for bacon, where you are paying $10 to $12 for a little pack of bacon. Yeah, I kid you not. That's what people are paying. And you think it's going to get better? It is not. Prices are only going to continue going up. Why would a grocery store sell a pack of bacon or chips or something like sweet potato fries for $5.99 today, and then in a month they're going to bring it down? No, they're going to keep it at $5.99 as long as the consumers are paying, and that's part of the problem.
This is what $10 worth of groceries looks like. That's it.
$10. Got the person half a thing of grapes and 2 things of angel hair pasta. That's it for $10 at Kroger. So Kroger isn't even a high-priced grocery store, and it's still $10. What are you going to do with 2 packs of angel hair pasta and a half a thing of grapes? That's where the American people are at. And again, let me ask you this. If you are seeing any of this stuff in your area, but watch this one as well.
I came here to Walmart to get some blueberries, and guess what the prices of blueberries are?
$8 for a pack of blueberries. $8. You know what I saw? I seen this recently, and I don't go to the grocery store, so it wasn't actually me seeing it, but I saw somebody recording somebody else, and this is posted on TikTok, and they were stuffing more items. I think it was a pack of was it strawberries or raspberries, something red, but they were grabbing one pack or one little clamshell and trying to stuff more things into another one. I think that's stealing, but again, it said it was like $7 or $6.97, whatever it was, for a little pack of strawberries or raspberries, and they were trying to fill it up as much as humanly possible. That's what we're going to start to see more and more of. People are going to do whatever they can to ensure that they get the most bang for their buck. Let me show you this one.
Guys, what in the inflation is this? Big 12 packs of Sprite, Diet Coke, or regular Coke, 3 for $20.97. Like actual soda, $21.
That's crazy. $21. That's $7 for a 12 count. Okay? Here's what's interesting about this. And I remember not so long ago where it was $5 for a case. A 24-pack of Sprite, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. And again, it's getting insane. It is absolutely insane. But you think that one's crazy? I have a story, but look at this one.
I can have nothing nice. They want to raise everything that we love. This was $6 and some change. Now it's $8.42. Like, why? These are the best.
Yeah, why? For Fresca. Sparkling soda water. I like Fresca. It's actually pretty good. But here's the thing. I saw recently where somebody was paying $14.99 for a 12-pack, a 12-count, half case of Fresca. Now, it doesn't matter what the flavor is, doesn't matter how much you like it, you're going to pay almost $15 for a 12-pack? That's insane. That is absolutely insane. But let me show you some more insanity. Look at this.
These companies, these corporations are out of their minds. $7 for a bag of chips, for Doritos. They're party size, but still, $7?
$7 for a bag of chips. $7.
Yes, we get it, and it's gonna get worse, and it's gonna get higher too. Anyway, what the fuck? What I gotta do? What am I supposed to do? Oh yeah. All I can think of is reading Hagar chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. So, yeah. From every video I played, pretty much has me reading this like multiple times. I think it's the third or fourth time. I think it's the third. But yeah, I mean, shit's getting real. The best thing you Israelites need to do is seek the Lord. And how do you do that? By seeking his prophets and take heed what it say. And try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shem Shah by praying Yahweh Shem Shah, praising Yahweh Shem Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shem Shah, fearing Yahweh Shem Shah, and repenting Yahweh Shem Shah. Because it's only going to get worse. And it damn sure ain't getting no better. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, what I about to say? Oh, yeah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shem Shah and stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed, keep your faith and trust on Yahweh Shem Shah. Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order Yahweh Shem Shah. Peace and bless to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.